Okay, Assalamualaikum again. I'm going to continue with chapter 7, database and data warehouse. Buku muka surat 66, but if you see at your book, learning outcomes dia ada banyak, ada 9. So I have simplified the learning outcomes into only 3 learning outcomes. Define the fundamental concept of database model. Number 2, evaluate the advantages of the database model. And number 3, discuss data-driven website and data warehouse. Okay, what is database? Pengkalan data. It maintains information about various types of object, which is include inventory, event or transaction, people, which is the employees, and place in terms of warehouses. Maksudnya di mana data-data which is translated into an information disimpan in an organization. So millions of data will be kept in the database, tempat di mana data disimpan. Database is where all the data is kept in the organization. And what is database management system? DBMS. DBMS, it is a software through which users and application programs interact with the database. Maksudnya, how to get or pull data from the database is by using systems and application. So that is meant by database management system. As you can see from the illustration, how the sales manager, customer service advisor and payroll officer extracted data from the central database through DBMS, which is the system used in the organization. If we want to use data from the database, we need to have a proper software or system in order to get the data out of the database. The primary task of a database is to store and organize every information or data that related to the transactions. Then the primary task of DBMS is to allow users to create and access and also use the data or an information in the database. It includes emails, contact information, financial information, sales information, product records. So those kind of information stored in database can be used by the users through the DBMS. Technically, there are 3 types of database model: hierarchical, network, and relational database model. And we are going to discuss only one types of database model, which is the relational database model. Means a relationship database model. In relational database model, the data is actually stored in the forms of table, which is they have the column and also the rows. Okay, in order to understand database, we need to define a few terms. What is entity, entity classes and attributes, and then what are the keys and the relationships. Okay, refer to example page 69, figure 6.5. As you can see from the example, this is what we call it as the sales order, the transaction between the company and the customer. So here you can see the data, which is the order number, the customer name, date, the quantity, product, the price, and the distributor fee, and also the order total. So these all data will be transported into the database. Okay, these are the loop of the data inside the database. Okay, the data was separated into 5 different table. Div subshop, so the name will appear in this customer table, which is the ID is 23 for div. So what is entity? Entity is every item in each and every table. So apa saja nombor, nama ataupun anything we call it as an entity. Number 2, what is entity class? Entity class is actually the different table appeared in the database. Here we have 5 entity class, which is one is the customer, number 2 order, number 3 order line, number 4 distributor, and number 5 is the product entity class. So we have 5 different table which is represent the entity class. What is attributes? Attributes is actually the column side. Okay, let's say we look at an example of the customer table. So under customer table we have customer ID, customer name, contact name, and the phone numbers. So these are what we call it as the attributes. If you can see that in each table akan ada sambungan ni, akan ada sambungan from one table to another. So these are what we call it as the relationship keys. This is what we call it as the keys and relationship. Okay, how customer table link with order table? Through the customer ID attributes. Okay, so how order table link with order line dan juga distributor? Okay, through order ID keys and distributor ID keys. And then how order line link with product table is through the product ID key, which is link with the product in the product ID table. So this arrow represent the foreign key and the primary key. So this actually create the relationships in the table inside the database.